Welcome to Debt Free in IT. My name is Mike. This podcast is for anyone who's looking to get into IT or anyone who's looking to switch up careers and maybe come into the IT field. So, in this episode, we're going to look at a topic that's, everyone has an opinion on. I'm just going to give my opinion, and that's certifications or degrees. So, if you should go get after a certification, or if it may be best for you to go and get a degree, or you can go and get both. There's no wrong way to approach this subject. So don't forget to like us and subscribe. If you know anyone that this episode may interest, please share it with them. So the first thing we're going to go over is I took down some notes, some little notes on my thoughts and everything on this topic. So the first thing is I'm gonna look at certifications. So with certifications, I got a couple points that kind of highlight some certifications. So the first thing is they take less time to earn. So depending on the certification, you could possibly study hard for a couple of months. I have seen some where you may study for up to 6 months, just depending on whenever you think you're ready to take that certification. For me, with the CCNA certification, I studied for about 3 or 4 months. Now, given that I already was familiar with the topic, I already had the classes, and so it was just a refresher for me. So I was able to study for 3 or 4 months, and I was able to pass that certification. So that's one plus about certifications is they do take less time than to go in now and get a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree or even a higher degree. Another topic, or another thing about certifications is it's niched down to a certain technology and then you get more specific training. So let's say if you're trying to get in the network department or the networking field in IT. So that CCNA certification pretty much says that you understand networking and that you are capable of learning anything networking wise. So it gives you more of a specialization on that particular topic, and especially if you got your sights on getting into the networking in a networking role, such as a network technician, a network admin, or a network engineer, getting that CCNA certification, or let's take another certification, Security Plus. It lets your employer know that you're capable of learning security concepts. You're familiar with a lot of security terminology. You got a good familiarity with just the whole security aspect. So then you have other certs. You have a lot of them. You have something like vSphere, where you have your VCP. That pretty much indicates you're proficient with the vSphere. You're proficient with a lot of that is virtualization. So it shows that you're proficient in that certain technology, which is a plus for standing out, especially when you're going for those type of roles. On to the next one is it proves that you know and understand that technology. So if you got a CCNA, like I said earlier, it pretty much lets the an employer know that you understand that technology, you're capable of learning more, and that you got a good overall view of whatever certification that you have. Another one is that it helps you stand out from others on your resume. So once you get that certification, one of the positives is you can add that certification to your resume. And a lot of times, most of us know that when you first submit to a lot of jobs, a lot of times it's computer or AI that may be sifting through those initial applications, and having that certification a lot of times is maybe a keyword for that position. So if you're going for a networking role, then that networking role may say they prefer someone to be certified with either a CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, or some sort of networking cert. So by having that cert on your resume, it's going to help that computer to pull your resume and then have a actual person to lay eyes on your resume and go from there. So it's going to help you stand out. Um, and pretty much, like I say, it just helps you stand out. And then it's something that's going to set you apart from others, so win-win there. So the next one is less cost. So Most certifications, most of the ones I've taken range from the $60 to $300-$400. I'm sure that there's some that cost more, but overall, it's gonna be less cost than if you was going for a degree. Let's say if you're going for a 4-year degree, which we know some of those can get up there in the six-figure range. So a certification is gonna cost less. Then another one, which this is probably one of the cons to a certification, is that most of them expire. So most certifications, CCNA for instance, usually it expires within I think 2 to 3 years. So that means every 2 to 3 years you got to be studying to either get that same certification again, or you're gonna try to advance your career and get the next level up certification. So either you're gonna be studying for that CCNP, or you might be studying just to get the CCNA over again. Another point with those certs that expiring, depending on where you're at in your career. So let's say if you already in a networking role and you've been on that position for a couple of years, then depending on your employer, they may not care if your certification expires. So it may not be nothing to them if it expires because you've been doing the job. But it may be something where if you're looking to leave your company, where that certification is going to matter, because if you're looking to leave, they might the company you're going to, they may want you to have a active certification instead of an expired one. So most people that I know, usually if you get a certification, they usually try to keep it active just because it may help them if they leave their current job and try to further progress their career. And my last one is that certifications is more suited for people that may have a already have a basic understanding of the IT field. So if you're not a beginner, I say if you're intermediate or maybe advanced, then a lot of times certifications is not going to be extremely impossible for you to learn and go past the certification test. But I do see it being extremely harder if you're coming from ground zero and you don't understand nothing with IT. The only thing you understand is how to turn on your computer and how to check your email, things of that sort. If you that's all you understand, you may need to go ahead and try to go ahead and get a degree to try to get that overall understanding, because certifications to me they're more well suited for those that have some sort of knowledge beforehand before attempting that certification. So next, we're going to go along to we're going to look at some of the perks and some of the cons for degrees. As always, if you find a value in this episode and you're listening via Apple Podcast, please leave a review and let me know how I'm doing. Any tips or pointers? If you have any questions, or if you disagree with what I'm saying. Not saying that my way is the 100% way. Everybody have their own opinions. So if you think different, please leave it in the comment. So, moving on to degrees. So, one thing with a degree is you will gain more knowledge on that topic and you'll be more well rounded. Because with a degree, you're pretty much going to come in. It's pretty much a degree is assuming that you're at level zero. So, you're going to come in, you're going to have a IT essentials course or a basic computer course that shows you the ins and out of a computer. Then from that, depending on your degree that you're going for, but most of them after that is going to build on it. So you may, after you have get your basic IT knowledge, then it may go into whatever your degree is for. So if it's for networking, then you may start having a basic networking class. Then after that class, you're probably going to move into more of the networking academy, which is your CCNA classes. But as of now, it's like 3 of those. So you got CCNA 1, CCNA 2, CCNA 3. So you're going to move into those classes. So it's going to build upon the other. So you're going to be more well rounded. Plus, you're going to probably have some classes dealing with hardware support, meaning that you're learning how to break down PCs, how to put them together, how to change out parts to your PC. You also may have some Linux courses. you're going to get a well-rounded view of the IT field, and especially the field that you want to go into. So you're going to be more well-rounded. I think that's always a plus, especially if you're a beginner. So there may be a route going for a degree, which most degrees, like I said, is going to be either be a 2-year degree, 4-year degree, or some other higher education, masters, whatever you want to pursue. From me on that subject, I kind of lean with the saying that if you want to be a manager in the IT field, you need to at least go get that 4-year degree. If you just want to get in the IT field and may have a decent career, do good, make money, things of that nature, then sometimes that associate is maybe all that you need. So the next thing, which is a plus for degrees, is a degree lasts forever. So, like I said earlier, with certifications, they tend to expire. There are some I've noticed that where someone may be grandfathered in and theirs don't expire, but overall, the majority of them, some of them, most of them, is probably going to expire within a year or a couple years. But long as you got a degree, that degree is never going to expire. So, if you got a degree now, 10 years from now, you're still going to have that degree. So that's one plus side for the degrees is that they never expire. The next things is a degree can also help you stand out. I would say from, let's say, if someone's applying for a job with no degree and no certification, and you have a degree for that field, I think it's going to put you a little bit above that other person just because of you have that degree. Also, it's going to give you more reputable, like especially if you came from a prestige school. We most people know that you come from prestige schools. That school has a good track record with bringing out IT graduates. So it's gonna help you stand out a little bit more. And then plus a degree, I think is real powerful when you take that degree and then you also add that certification to that degree. So I think that even makes you a little bit more powerful, more valuable, and helps you stand out even more. So then the next point is a degree is good if you have the time to devote to it. So if you have a busy life, a hectic schedule, now we have online schooling, which may be able to fit in your schedule and work well for you. But that, like I said, a degree is usually going to be at least 2 years at the minimum. So you got to look at your schedule and see can you devote time to this. So you're going to need time not just to attend the classes if they're in person, but or if they're online, you're going to need time to finish the coursework for that class. So if you're taking a full load for classes and you're trying to work at the same time, which is totally doable, we all have to work to get some income, but I think that, like I said, that degree is going to take a lot of your time. So that may be a plus for some people, maybe a minus for some, but that degree, you're going to have to devote time to it because some of your coursework may take hours to finish. And let's say you're doing 4 courses. So you're going to be at least spending 15, 20 hours a week just on classes. So that's one point for degrees. And the last one, which to me is a minus for a con for degrees, is that they cost way more. Maybe you can get out of not too much cost going to a 2-year degree at a community college, which I recommend. But if you're going for that 4-year degree or a higher degree, I have seen people come out on a on an arm and a leg to Fannie Mae or what have you of all of these student loans. So that's something to think about also with going to get a degree. I'm not saying do not go get it, but I'm saying if you make that choice, I say please consider all of the facts and make sure that you're committed to it. I wouldn't make that choice knowing that, oh, I might get in this, I might not like it, and I might back out and I might quit and I still got all these loans to pay. So that's one thing to think about. So that brings me to the end of this episode. Like I said, if you have any comments or questions, please you can email them at debtfreeinc gmail.com. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. I try to respond to all comments. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please review the podcast. Give me any tips or pointers that you think I should work on to get better. As we know, just starting out, so everyone starts from somewhere. So we all aim to try to get better at what we do. So, like I said, with that being said, like I say, any questions or comments, please leave them in the review section or shoot me an email.